Good morning, McLean. I'm your host, Ricky Powell, and I'm here with the Cadet Corps, and we're going to ask them a couple questions about the Cadet Corps. So, there's a common question that many students ask your cadets, and that is, what is a Cadet Corps all about?
Cadet Thompson, would you like to address that?
The Cadet Corps is mostly about leadership and understanding what kinds of variables come in with leadership. A few examples would be managing not only yourself, but everybody else around you, and just all around trying to make everybody as perfect as we can be. That's it.
Right. And also, is there any traditions that you'd like to continue at the McLean High School?
Well, it seems like since we're new, we just got here in August, almost everything that we do is a tradition that we're starting. You mentioned earlier that we're doing the color guards for the varsity games, those sort of things. Uniform day on Wednesday, just seeing the cadets rolling through the hallways in uniform, trying to represent who we are and kind of put our face out there. We've been involved in a lot of community service so far this year. That's a tradition also that we're going to carry forward. A lot of the things that we have we brought with us from Paint Valley. Different school, different environment, so we're kind of tweaking it to fit what goes here. So as the year goes on, that's what we'll be doing. We'll be tweaking it. I think next year you'll start to see some of the things reoccurring, and then we've got some ideas of some things that we want to bring on board too. We'll keep that a surprise until next year, though.
Sounds like a good plan. So, also, what are your guys' ranks, and would you like to explain your guys' responsibilities for each rank?
Cadet Sally, what we got going on here?
Yes, sir. So the ranking system starts at Cadet Basic, which is no rank. And then once you get to a certain spot, then you get Cadet First Class, which is one stripe. And then Cadet Second Class, Cadet Third Class. We have flight commanders and flight sergeants. Flight sergeant's responsibility is to take care of the flight and watch them for the flight commander, so that way his job is really easy. If someone in the flight gets in trouble, the flight commander takes care of it.
And flight commanders are our class leaders. Each class we consider as a flight. So we have specific people in there who are in charge of that flight, and another person beside them who also assists. And then for each flight, each class, they will exchange who's in charge so that everybody gets an idea of what leadership is, and we roll out.
So Cadet Van Dyke here is a new cadet, and she's Cadet Third Class. What are you, and why do you have, what tier of rank is this that we're seeing here?
The three of us are cadet captains. We have all three been group commanders. He is the group commander currently. With the group commander spot, the cadet captain rank is worn.
And he gets 2 tassels.
I do.
And I'm a squadron commander, so I get 1 tassel, which is I get 1 tassel. And I'm a squadron commander, but I have been group commander at Paint Valley. So when I come over here, I have to start from the very bottom and work my way back up. So.
Good. So, speaking of tassels and things on the uniform, what are the significance of wearing a uniform?
Well, I would say significance of wearing the uniform is, especially for the people who would love to be able to wear the uniform again, we're kind of wearing it for the people who can't, and also it's a grade and we want to get a good grade too.
Well, it's only 1 grade a week, but.
But it's a significant part of your
Right,
grade.
it's a big part of your grade.
It's like, how much is it?
It's like a test grade
100
almost.
points?
Once a week.
It's 100 point
Once
grade
a week, it's like a test grade, and if you don't wear it,
Big difference between 100 and 0.
Well,
You'll also notice, I think Cadet Sally has one also, but Cadet Thompson there is wearing an honor guard wreath. Now those are earned anytime you perform military honors. Now for a high school student, that's a big deal. Sometime probably 2 years ago, we got a call. The veteran wasn't going to get a funeral, and they were talking to me to try to see if we had somebody out there, and I couldn't find anybody. So what we ended up doing was just taking care of it ourselves. Because of my background, I'm able to train some of the cadets on how to do firing party and flag presentation. So we started doing that, and then suddenly I found myself on the funeral director's speed dial. So anytime a cadet performs military honors, it's a huge deal, huge honor. But they get the honor guard wreath to signify that they've done that for a fellow veteran. So.
It's really good. Congratulations. So, for those that don't know, there was a military ball recently, and would you guys like to explain what that was about?
Well, let's let, would the king or the queen like to address that? Queen, go ahead.
Okay, so the military ball is basically a yearly event that all the cadets are allowed to go to. basically what the ball consists of is dancing, a spaghetti bar where you get to pick out what kind of food you want. It's there's a fee to get in for everybody, but you're allowed to have as much food as you want. There's cookies, there's desserts, there's pictures, and pictures aren't really expensive there, so it's kind of nice. And we all dance. The royalty will dance together, and then we walk through a saber arch, which is very fun, with the king or queen. And then after that, we'll just sit down, we'll dance, and we do a group dance with our corps, and there's a winner, and I think the winner gets a prize of some kind. The winner gets some sort of prize. Not sure what that is. We haven't won yet, so I'm not being salty or
outnumbered.
anything, but right. But the fun part about being king or queen is basically you get to have a crown and a sash, and you get to keep the sash, but you have to give the crown back. And if you have guests, you're allowed to cadets are allowed to invite guests that aren't in the corps to go, but if you were not associated with the corps, you can't go unless you've been invited by a cadet. That's it.
And that's another one of those traditions that we'll
Right.
plan on continuing. So I'm sure they had in my head if I didn't. So
Good plan. So the Cadet Corps often has off-campus trips on occasions. What does the Cadet Corps usually do during these trips?
let's talk about the one that you guys, the officers, most recently went on.
AFRL.
Give us some details on that.
Make sure you explain what that is too.
Air Force Research Laboratory. So we went up to Columbus.
Right, Pat.
Right, Pat. And we went to the Air Force Research Laboratory, and they had like a bunch of different stuff in there. They had an engine that's called a scramjet engine, and it's for what?
Yeah, it's not classified yet.
Okay.
So we'll talk about it. Just keep the details out.
Okay. No photos for
So
that.
it uses speed to make speed, and it's really cool. And it doesn't have any moving parts, so there's nothing to break, and that's all I can break.
Also got to see the Batcave. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Back
All
cave
right.
is fun.
Yeah, they have a Batman program.
And they also
Basically, it's an acronym, so it's not really meant to be Batman, but it kind of is, because anytime the warfighter has a problem, then they bring the problem to this group of people, and they provide a solution. So it's a little bit like Bruce Wayne going to Lucius and saying, "Hey, I need a really stealthy, fast car," and then they create the Batmobile. In this case, it's some sort of a combat equipment or warfighting capability, and it's kind of the same thing. They say we need this, and then they produce it. So don't want to go into too much detail there either, but it's pretty neat.
Sounds awesome. So, where do you plan on taking the Cadet Corps in the near future?
I like the start. I like what we've been able to accomplish since August. I'd like to see the numbers up a little bit. We have 65 cadets. I think it's fair to assume that we could probably sustain 75, maybe 75 or 80 cadets in the future. My hope is that once the word gets out and folks see what it is, then they'll give it a consideration. A lot of people think that this is a military orientation type program, and it's not. We figure when kids graduate, they're going to go to school, to college, or they're going to go to work, or they're going to go to the military. So we try to give them tools through leadership, through education, to have them well equipped to handle whatever it is of those three things that they decide to do. Or they might even do a combination of the three. They might go to work and then school, or school and then work. So we just try to make sure that they're loaded up so that when they graduate, they have real life experiences that they can use to get them ahead of their peers.
Well, it definitely sounds like the Cadet Corps is definitely the way to go if you're planning on preparing for the future. So also, speaking of preparing, what kind of physical training does the Cadet Corps go through?
That's a piece of cake.
we're kind of relaxed on it. We do a mile, and you're just timed. And I believe we're doing a new system now where you set a goal, and then if you accomplish your goal, you get a good grade. If you don't accomplish your goal, then not such a good grade, but it's still not
The
devastating.
PT goal is not necessarily to take a group of people, and have them all at the same place and just beat their bodies up until they can't take it anymore.
Right.
The idea is to figure out where they're at when they start, usually in August, or in Cadet Van Dyke's case, she started in January. See where they're at the beginning of the year, and the idea is just to be better when May comes along. You don't have to be at somebody else's standard, you have to be at your standard, and that standard just has to be a little bit higher than it was in August. And then hopefully, if you're a returning cadet, we'll start you in August where you ended in May, and then take you another step for the following May. So by the time you graduate, you're better off physically.
It's not as bad as what most people make it out to be.
See, the
It's not
PT
much
scares a
fun.
lot of folks off, and that doesn't need to be the case, because you're not pushed beyond what you can do, you're just pushed beyond maybe what you want to do.
Like, I can probably do like a maximum of 10 push-ups, but I'm gonna go for like 15 at the end of the year.
Now you go, it's just a matter of growth, so.
Sounds good. So the Cadet Corps has come a long way this year, and I always see the dedication with wearing uniforms and what you guys do. So for anyone who wants to join the Cadet Corps, what advice do you have for them?
Join, try.
Try it. Like, you can't just assume we're doing things a certain way, because we change it all the time. And we always accommodate it to you guys. Like, it's always like being mended, fixed, things are just being put back together because the kids have issues that they come up with, and then we have to find a solution to those that still work with what we think needs to be done.
You don't have to sign a contract, and there's no military commitment. So if
Exactly.
you want to try the class, you know, you come in August, and after a couple of weeks, you find out that's not really for you, you can drop it and take something else. You can do what Cadet Van Dyke did and come in January in the second semester. You know, we'll take anybody the first time and you know, see if it's fit.
And you get a lot of community service doing it too.
Yeah, and colleges really look for that in their applications, and also a lot of the scholarships and things that you go for looking for community service. So, you know, it's not a military lock set. You know, you can do a lot of different things with the things that you accomplish here.
Sounds good. Also, I know that I definitely learned a lot after this interview, and I know that the viewers have learned a lot. Is there anything else that you guys would like to mention?
The blood drive.
Oh yes.
We are having a blood drive on March 13th. Love it if anybody would like to come and donate. I think there's also a prize. One out of, I think 5 people who donate are being randomly selected to see a premiere of Game of Thrones or something. I just saw it on the computer.
Okay.
But
Well, there'll be more information to follow on that. That's something the Red Cross partners with us to sponsor. We do it 4 times a year. Next one's March 13th. We'd like to get the gym loaded up, save some lives, and that's about it. You know, just watch us grow. If you want to be a part of it, be a part of it.
should we mention beef sticks?
Yeah, we're also selling beef sticks, so
We're also
look out
selling
for all the
beef sticks.
cadets.
These uniforms cost a lot, so in order to get every kid one, we need money.
Well, please participate in the blood drive and buy some beef sticks. Once again, I'd like to thank the Cadet Corps for being here, and back to the studio.